Beaver Readers, it's Miss Chambers, your Ballard High School librarian. We're starting first chapter Friday with a banger, The House No One Sees by Adina King. And this one does have some trigger warnings around drug addiction, neglect, uh, just general sadness. So I wanted to start this one because I feel like it's a really good book that you may overlook. So it is a Prince nominee, and I'm going to be starting it now. First chapter says Shadow. This is what would happen if Disney threw a kegger. Sure, the Oxtown Fair looks wholesome on the outside with its craft tents and animal bars, but its midway is a total sketch fest. Flanked by food booths and games, ride spin, I spin, I'm the epicenter of a permanent sensory overload. There's also a fine grit that has somehow permeated the membrane of my sneakers. It gathers between my toes like a bunch sock, except it's not a sock. It's dirt. Fair dirt. And fair dirt is nasty. Allison walks slightly ahead. She's also wearing an Evergreen High School hoodie and jean shorts, but her footwear is much more practical. I consider the amount of force it would take to knock her on the ground to the ground and take her boots and then look for a bale of straw to soften her fall. 3 throws, that's all it takes, a guy shouts from a booth nearby. 3 throws, we'll get you a prize. Don't look, I tell myself, but I can't stop. Delightfully disturbing cat-like prizes dangle from the tent ceiling. They are fluffy and enormous, like a cat had an affair with a yeti, a very colorful yeti. 3 throws to score. Allison makes eye contact with the guy running the game. He's young and kind of hot, but he's also like the Disney, not Disney midway. His jeans fit perfectly, but his concert shirt is too cheap to be from a concert. He winks and grins. Then his eyes drop south to graze Allison's brown legs and tag her sensible footwear before heading north again. 3 throws to score, he repeats, placing an emphasis on the word score. Allison pauses. Her smirk an indication she's having an internal debate over his hotness. But carnivals get around, and I grab her arm to pull her away, but end up pushing her closer. Prizes loom. I spot a calico cat that's fuzzier than the others. Its purple, white, and orange spots look like something from a magic mushroom trip. I point and say, I will name that one Edgar. Allison says, moving away. I grab the dark braid hanging down her back. You've seen me throw? Allison swats my hand from her braid. I'm more than just a superior throwing arm, Penny. I look up at the cat. Its lifeless eyes mirror a kaleidoscope of color. But what happens when it's not hanging there? Picture the cat being stuffed into a box, and then picture the lid closing, all the cats getting trapped in the dark. And I say, this is no life for a cat. Allison rolls her eyes to the game guy. Can she kick it? He looks confused. The dart? Soccer player, Allison says, pointing to my foot. Kick it with her foot? He says. Allison shakes her head, then looks at me. What do I even do with that? Our friend Valerie appears next to Allison. Like us, she's wearing a hoodie and jean shorts, but instead of a braid, her ginger curls are up in a messy bun. She stuffs a cloud of cotton candy in her mouth. I point to the calico cat. Edgar Catzilla Pussington. Nice, Valerie says. Nope, Allison says. But I try. Not happening. Allison turns away from the game. You know she's not letting this go. Valerie stuffs another cumulonimbus into her mouth. You've seen her throw? She sucks. Right? I say, reaching to the pinch off a cirrus cloud. And it's my birthday. Valerie narrows her eyes at the only one of us who plays softball. Don't crush her soul. A girl only turns 16 once, Allie. And we'll need it for Hawthorne House, I add. Allison looks confused. Hawthorne House is one of the fair's biggest draws. Its theme changes each year, but there's always something haunted housey about it. I gesture to Edgar. A cat that size could come in handy if we run into trouble. What? Allison says, still confused. Like Demogorgons. That could be trouble. Still confused. It will be like Catzilla, Cat Kong, and a kitty mind flayer. Valerie nods. I can see that. The mind flayer, like from Stranger Things? Allison looks up at Edgar Catzilla Pussington and shakes her head. And you want to name it Edgar? Everything deserves a name, I say. At my expense? She says, and when I don't disagree, she sighs, looks up at the sky. I'm sorry, I say. Are you implying that this will hurt your reputation? Allison extends a hand, the flat of her palm dangerously close to my nose. My expense, not yours. Who else do you watch Stranger Things with? You mean who will I be watching it with? I pretend to look offended. And when I'm watching Stranger Things with these new friends and laughing at the giant praying mantis from hell slaughtering everyone's favorite characters, these new friends will look at me and think, that girl is fucking crazy. Valerie finishes. I nod. I can see that. I hate you. Allison shoulders past me. Both of you. Liar, I say, my heart expanding with hope. Allison pays the guy running the game, and he hands her 3 darts. She holds 2 in her right hand and 1 in her left. You can do this, I say. Better than you can, she says, pointing the dart to the throw. Now shut up. I stare at the dart's needle-like business end and watch its progression back toward her ear. Then the needle shoots forward, straight like an arrow. I don't see the moment of entry. I don't hear the pop. I don't witness the balloon deflate. I just watch Allison repeat the motion, transferring the dart number 2 from right to left, then pulling its business end back before it snaps forward. Same with the third. The guy lets out a low whistle, and Allison says, that one. And her voice sounds far away. I stare at her empty hand. You good? She asks, volume still down. Stop being weird, I tell myself. It was just a dart. She gives me a funny look, then steps away. I have the urge to go for her braid again, but maybe that's also weird. And as I'm marinating my own weirdness, something even weirder happens. Allison becomes part human, part kitty tar. I say, come again? She says, like a centaur, but instead of a human top, you're all cat, Valerie says, popping a final cloud into her mouth. Definite improvement. Did I mention I hate you? Allison says, trying to hand off Edgar. The cat hits me and knocks me back. Valerie laughs. Then Allison turns and nearly takes out Valerie. Unfair, Valerie says. I was unarmed. I push myself into Allison while trying to wrap my arms around Edgar. What the hell? God, Penny, Allison says. At least try. Don't judge, I say. I have an inadequate wingspan. Allison looks over my shoulder. Little help here? What are you? My sentence gets cut off as Allison rams me with Edgar while Valerie pushes from behind, but I still can't get my stupid arms around the cat. Then Valerie steps back and Allison checks me harder, and I nearly fall flat on my ass, but manage to hold on. Finally, Allison says, releasing Edgar, let's hit the rides. I'm not sure if I can. I spin in a circle. Where the hell did they go? I hurry in the direction I think is the midway, but Edgar's a lot. Each time I think I've got him, he kind of slides and I stagger and I make it. I have no idea how far I make it before Edgar's lying face down on the ground next to a discarded pizza crust, and I totally suck. A pair of work boots appear next to Edgar. They're leather like an overripe banana. The boots say $5, and I'll chauffeur your cat for the next hour. This is not a horrible offer. But when I look up, I see stop. Beeps and shouts, whirs and clangs lay over lights and movement. The acridity of vinegar melts into the smoky sulfur of metal lubricants. I have no idea where one sense begins and the other ends. My muscles atrophy. Blood fossilizes. Skin petrifies. I'm like a doll suspended over a carnival game. Then a hand lands on my arm. Stop. The hand tightens. Once upon a time, there was a mother and a daughter who tried. They lived happily in a house no one saw until a wicked prince brought an apple that made the mother sleep. She forgot the house. She forgot her daughter. As she slept, she ate all the air. Still, she tried. She did her best until one day she disappeared, even though she was still there. I think a lot about this, about how a person can be here and not here, a shadow without a form. The hand on my arm pulls, then pushes, and Allison says, move! My feet feel heavy, but I force him to walk away from the man who has rotting skin, rotting teeth, rotting eyes. He is 27 going on 90. I glance back, expecting he'll be right behind me, but the midway has eaten his shadow. I check on Edgar, safe in Valerie's arms, and reach for my phone. Don't be dumb. Keep reaching. She's not going to call. This is a hard truth. I let my fingers land like I'm going to pull out my phone, like I'm going to wipe the screen and see what? Nothing. I'll see nothing, even though it's my birthday. Beaver readers, that is the first chapter of The House No One Sees. There are some questions if you want to answer them together as a class. But otherwise, if you're interested in that book, please come to the library. It is a wild ride, folks. Can't wait for you to read it with us. All right. Take care, y'all.